because that's what it is at this point. It's a collection. So I'll do it when I want to. I tried to say that 5 times. It still came out wrong. So these are spring seedlings. This one got burnt a little bit. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia, and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. And you might notice we are in somewhat of a different space, still in the kitchen. You also might notice that the freeze dryer is behind me. The table that I put it on was not strong enough for it. It started to bow in the middle. So if you're thinking about getting a freeze dryer, just know you need a pretty strong table. Anywho, I think they said this weighs 90 pounds, and I'm pretty sure this table said it could hold up to more than 90 pounds, but it started to bow. So we have it back here. This is not where it's gonna stay. I just feel like I need to explain this before we get started with the video. This is not where it's gonna stay. I'm going to order a new kitchen table that's more of a block bistro pub type table to put right here, and then this table will go in the corner. I am liking what I have going on right now because I have a space for doing seeds that's not the kitchen table, but we'll see how it all plays out. Anyway, oh, one other thing, let me show y'all this. Isn't it beautiful? It's got hummingbirds on it. Y'all know I love a hummingbird, and I feel like, I don't know what kind of flower this is, but I just think it's so pretty. I got this from Earth Love by Danny. I made sure to say her name right. I will link her below. That's my last mug for a while though, y'all. I love her mugs. What we're doing today is, if you remember in my last video, I think this is gonna come out right after that video, I had put all the seeds I planned to start for spring and for summer into 2 photo cases so that I can put them into Ziploc bags. So what I do as a way to be more organized when it's time to start my seeds is I write on these bags. Now, if you watch my videos from last year, Spring Me Please, I already had bags. I have no idea where those bags are, but you can reuse them from year to year. I don't know where those bags are. I feel like they were with my notebook that got wet and I just tossed everything. So we're starting over. So what I plan to do is to just write. So 12 weeks on this one, then we'll do 8 weeks on this one, and so on and so forth. So we'll do 6 here, 4, 2, and then direct sow. And so my reasoning for doing this is because when I look at my last frost date, very important thing if you are deciding that you want to start your garden from seeds is to find your last frost date. I use the Farmer's Almanac. I can put my zip code in. It's going to find my area. It's going to give me my last predicted. All of the dates are predicted. Your last frost could come before or your last frost could come after that date. It is just a prediction. I am using the date only for starting seeds. My plant out date at this point, I've been doing it for the last 2 years, I think. My plant out date is May 1st, no matter when it says my last frost is. My last frost right now is predicted at April the 5th. I will not be planting in April unless I just notice like it is pretty warm. We don't have any frost, but normally I plant in May for summer. My spring garden will go out in February. When I start my seeds, I will be counting back from April 5th and then counting the weeks back. And that's how I'll know when I need to start my seeds. All right, one of the things I'm sure you're wondering is how do you know which week you're supposed to be planting? If you're new to gardening. If you're not, then I know you already know this. But on the back of seed packets, they tell you like what they recommend and what week you should plant them in. For instance, I need to tell y'all, I picked some more tomato varieties. I saw the comments, I've read all of the comments, have not had a chance to respond to all of them. And a lot of people were saying like, look at Romas. And then there was one other one, Romas and paste, I think. So for my goals that I want for 2026. So I went back through my seeds and I found a few other varieties that I'm going to try. Also went back and looked for bush varieties or determinate varieties. The varieties that aren't gonna grow really long, really tall, and I won't have to do a lot of upkeep. So I did find 2 determinate varieties. I'm sorry, we are gonna get back to started seeds. I found Mountain Marriott in my seeds and I found Supremo in my seeds. Here's the thing. I saw the variety recommendations. I want to start using the seeds I have, y'all. So I appreciate all of the recommendations, but I'm going to try to find Romas and bush tomatoes that I already have in my seed collection, because that's what it is at this point. It's a collection. So back to what I was saying. The back of the packet is going to tell you when you should start your seeds. And they do give you a range. So this says 4 to 6 weeks. I start my tomatoes around 8 to 6 weeks. That's just my personal thing that I do. This year, more than likely, I'm going to start them at 6 weeks just because I have a lot of plants to get started and I don't want a whole lot of plants in the house. Now, when we start to get to temperatures over freezing through the day, all of these plants in the daytime so that they can get their light is going to go out into the black and clear greenhouse. Someone asked me about that greenhouse and they asked me about the black and glass greenhouse. It's not glass. It is a thick plastic, I guess you would say. I need to fix that too. I still never fixed that. That is something that I need to do. I plan to go out into the garden today. I have got to get myself on track because maybe we just having a chat today, y'all. Because I am all over the place. But what I was going to say is I plan to go out there today. Need to put the carrot bed to sleep. I thought of a good idea to cover those citrus and with another layer. That's not going to be a lot of work for me. So I'll show y'all that in a video this week too. I am not trying to fix that greenhouse today. It's cold. But when we have a warm day, I will. Anywho, I look at the back of my seed packets and that's where I decide which bag it goes into. So now when it's time for me to plant, when I know I'm at my 6 week mark, I will just be able to pick up one bag and say, hey, we need to start the seeds in this bag. That has really helped me as opposed to having to go through all of the seeds and like read the back of the packet, things like that. Also, since I've been gardening for a while, I know when I should start most things. If it's something new, of course, I'm gonna have to use the back of the packet. For instance, we have our peppers here. I start my peppers, all of my peppers, at 12 weeks. Some people only start their hot peppers at 12 weeks. It is said that hot peppers take longer to germinate than just a regular sweet pepper. I start them all at 12 weeks. So with that being said, I will grab my 12-week bag and all of my peppers, which if you haven't seen which peppers I'm growing, I will link that video. I hope I remember to link that video so you can see the peppers that I am starting. I have not added any new pepper seeds. I will be starting my pepper seeds and I will be starting my eggplant seeds at 12 weeks. In about a week, I will be starting these seeds. Now we have a 12-week bag. Now, there are flowers that benefit from being started early too. I plan to start my asters at 12 weeks as well as my dahlias at 12 weeks. Now, the back of the packet does not say that, but dahlias and asters take a while to flower. So I just want them to get large enough so that when I put them outside, they can just kind of take off. Personal choice. That is not something that you have to do. Asters also take a long time to flower or to mature. When you look at the back of your packet, you'll see days to maturity. That's when you should more than likely start to see whatever you're trying to grow. So that's what we're going to do. So for instance, this is an aster plant. Takes 110 days or more to mature. I think it's right here. I really can't see, y'all. Anyway, now the back of the packet does say started indoors 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost. I'm starting mine early. I just want to. After you have been growing things for a while, you can make the decision on when you want to start it. The only thing is you just have to be prepared for things to not make it, maybe die, have to restart, whatever. I am prepared for that. So with that being said, we have our asters and we have our dahlias that we are going to go ahead and put into the 12-week bag. And now I know in a week or so that this is a bag that I need to grab and I don't have to worry about going through my seeds to find them. All right, so we're now at the 8-week mark. In the 8-week mark, I'm probably not gonna start my tomatoes until 6 weeks this year, but normally I would start them around 8 weeks. But do we even have anything that's an 8-week mark? You know, I'll probably start my calendula at 8 weeks because calendula can take a frost, and my nasturtiums, I'll probably start those at 8 weeks too, because nasturtiums like to grow in cooler climates. And so these can go out in April if I want them to. When I say, I don't want to say cooler climates, cooler temperatures. So these can also go out early. So in April, I can start to just plant these around the garden, because my plan with nasturtiums, for one, is just to have a whole bunch of them. Same thing with calendula, if I'm honest. So we'll start the calendula at 8 weeks. Now the back of the packet for these does say, actually, so nasturtiums, they tell you to direct sow because they don't really like their roots disturbed. It didn't say it on the back of the packet. It's just something that I've seen over the years. One of the things that they say is, you know, they don't like their roots disturbed, direct sow them. I start my nasturtiums inside and they do just fine when I transplant them. And this packet just says several weeks. So I'll do it when I want to. And I'm gonna do them at 8 weeks, y'all. Oh, also, if you're new here, I am in Virginia, zone 7B. So these are the times that I plan to start. If you are new to gardening, maybe you can use some of this information to decide where you want to start. But as you grow, as you start to do a garden, you will find the times that work well for you. Also, meant to tell y'all, I found my patio variety of tomatoes that I saved seed and my Brad's Atomic Grape. So now we have our 6-week bag, and all of our tomatoes are gonna go into the 6-week bag. And somebody asked me if I put all of my peppers in one bed. I do not. I plant my peppers in bags for the most part. That's where I've had the most success. I keep trying to grow them in my beds, but for some reason, they don't grow well in my beds. I do those in grow bags. I'm going to say I'm direct sowing all of my beans, but I may not do that. Beans are one of the other things that they tell you to direct sow, but I've absolutely sown them in the house and then got them out of their trays quickly. I say that, but I'm probably going to start them at 2 weeks, as well as my Romanesco squash. I tried to say that 5 times. It still came out wrong. Romanesco. I'm probably also going to do my cucumbers and my cantaloupe at 2 weeks as well. These are things that don't like to have their roots disturbed, but as long as you get them out early enough, you should be good to go, right? So that's that. My corn too is probably gonna go at 2 weeks. I will tell you, these are not set in stone time frames. So if I see that our weather is just cold, 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 with the things that I really need to get out quickly, I may push them back a week or two when it's time to start them inside. Because like I said, my planting day is May. So if I start these 2 weeks from my last predicted frost date, and then we're still like cold all the way through April, they're gonna end up staying in their pots much longer than I had planned for them to stay in. So leave some wiggle room for yourself too. The other thing that we're gonna start at 2 weeks are our sunflowers. That's another thing that, you know, direct sows easily. However, I am still going to start them inside. One of my problems is I forget to go and water the seeds, if that makes sense. If you forget to go outside and water the seeds, chances are you're gonna have spotty germination or really bad germination. So with that being said, I try to start everything inside where I can see what's going on. I can remember when I remember to water them, because they're gonna dry out slower in the house than they will outside in the ground under the sun. So the last things we have are our zinnias. And I'm actually going to start my zinnias at 6 weeks. That's everything, y'all. So right now we don't have anything in our direct sow or our 4 week, but I keep them anyway just in case I decide to move something, in case I decide that I'm going to start some other seeds. That's what I do. And then I don't have any of the larger, I guess it's gallon size Ziploc bags right now. I will put all of these into that bag, and then everything is in one place. I don't have to go back through my seed case. They're all in one place. So I wanted to show y'all that real quick, just to show you how I organize my seeds. Today, I do plan to go outside, but you know what else I remember? What I was gonna say is I'm gonna go outside, measure all my beds, but I do think I did a community post when I did this last year. So I may be able to get all of the sizes, start planning in my book, which of course I will come back and show y'all that too. But what I was gonna say is if I have that, I am going to keep that this year, but I'm going to put those sizes and how many bags and stuff I have into my iPad. That way, next year, if for whatever reason this book gets wet, I can just go to my iPad. So we'll keep the book for what goes outside with me when I'm planting, but we're gonna also put some things electronically to save it. So the next thing I'm gonna do, like I said, is I'm gonna go get the sizes, whether it's from the post last year or whether I go outside and I measure, and then I'm going to start figuring out how many spaces I have. I need to do that before I starting seeds because I need to know how many plants I'm gonna need. And this year, unlike any other year before, I just don't want a whole bunch of extra plants. That is what I'm planning to do. And then once I have all my measurements, I have the beds drawn out, I can start saying I'm gonna put this here, this here, this here, and then that way I can start writing out exactly how many I need of each plant. So I hope this video was somewhat helpful. Oh, wait, I wanna show y'all something. I just got finished cleaning the quail area out. So they're in there chilling now. Both areas have been cleaned, so we're happy about that. This group is already laying, so I'm excited about that. They've started laying again, so super excited about that. But yesterday, I ordered something that's gonna make this a lot easier for me. I think I mentioned it in another video. The company had reached out to me. I did have to buy it myself, which is fine. It's not a big deal, but I think it's gonna make a big difference for me. So I'm excited for that to come. I think it said 5 to 7 days. So, you know, it is what it is. These are our snapdragons that I showed y'all in the last video, and the Catarina cabbage. That's all here. And my tomatillos and ground cherries. But what I want to show y'all is look how well the seedlings are doing that we started not too long ago. I am pretty excited, y'all. So these are spring seedlings. They will go out hopefully in February. That is my plan. And look at the snapdragons. Very, very happy to see this. Also happy to see it's not just a whole bunch of snapdragons in one sale, because I took the time this year to not put a whole bunch of seedlings in one sale. I paid attention to that because I don't want to have to separate them. I don't want to have to separate a whole bunch of them. So we got all our snapdragons started now. I'm so glad I found those snapdragons in the refrigerator because I was like, I know I have snapdragons. Anyway, oh, one other thing. I posted it on Instagram. Forget the dishes, y'all. I gotta wash them. But I did one last harvest yesterday because at this point, the garden is just gonna have to live on its own because I cannot. This one got burnt a little bit, but it's still usable. So we got some celery back here. We got Swiss chard, broccoli, a bunch of leafy greens, so like kale and collards in here. No, this is all collards. And then we got kale and collards mixed in because this all came from the green stalk. And then we pulled any of the kohlrabi that was ready to go as well. One of the reasons I want to get this freeze dryer going is because I want to see if I could freeze dry kohlrabi and how it will rehydrate. I'm very interested to see how that's gonna go. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.